Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream here in multiple pages in our Facebook, in LinkedIn, in YouTube. It's first time I'm trying to make this live stream in many platforms in the same time. So I don't know if it will work. I'm using a program called StreamYard. If it will not work, my apologies because it's my first time that I'm using it from now, but I hope it will all go well. If it will not work, I will do this live. I will fix the problem and do this live again. But let's start. I'm very happy to be here. I'm in a nice park in Bucharest. And today I want to talk to you about self-sabotage and how to manifest our goals. Okay. And this topic is very important for me for this last period and for the next year. I have a project to analyze, study with my students and with the people I work, this aspect of self-sabotage, because I have discovered that it is very important, deeply ingrained in our subconscious mind, and we all do it more or less in different areas of our life. Other people sabotage their relationships, other people sabotage everything, other people sabotage their job, other people sabotage their health. There are many different ways to sabotage ourselves, and there are many mechanisms that work under this self-sabotage. Okay, many mechanisms. And this is one of the biggest reasons that we cannot unleash our potential in life. Maybe you have thought that you cannot succeed like others because maybe you don't have so much potential like others. The truth, the ultimate truth, is that, of course, potentially and theoretically, we all have the same potential. But there are reasons why we cannot unleash this potential in our everyday life, why we keep this inside. And the difference is that the successful people in every area of life, not only business like, they are the ones who can unleash their potential, like what they have inside of them, this power, this energy that comes from your soul, that it is who you really are, that you were as a kid. And when you are alone, you are more of this. And when you are in the world, you may be sabotaging yourself or blocking yourself. We all have this potential. Okay. And there are mechanisms that stop us. One big thing that happens, process, is this that is called self-sabotage. So we sabotage basically ourselves. And there are mechanisms that lead to self-sabotage in such a way that we don't even understand it. One thing that I have seen in my studies all these years in spirituality and personal development is that very few times people recognize clearly that they sabotage themselves. Because, of course, if you would recognize this, you would not do it. So we can say, with a generalization, of course, that behind all your problems lays a level of self-sabotage, exists a level of self-sabotage, and it is necessary to address it. So I'm going to give you some tips today. Specifically, I will talk about one of these reasons, one of these mechanisms. There are, as I told you, I have found 25 different mechanisms. We are going to study this in the next year. Especially, I have a very big project, a journey in Tibet. I will talk to you about in the end for 1 minute. In this trip in Tibet in November, we are going to make a masterclass about self-sabotage and all these 25 reasons. So what is one of these 25 reasons? Very important, very key. It is lack of direction and lack of clarity. You would think that, of course, lack of clarity and lack of direction is by itself the problem. But actually, we cannot find it as a problem, but it creates problems. Okay, so if everything you would be given in your hands, let's say, you would not need to have clarity or necessarily like a direction in your life. when we were kids, we didn't have clarity about what is life, or we didn't have a clear direction where we are going, but we were happy because we were not sabotaging ourselves. But as grown-ups, lack of clarity for us and direction leads to self-sabotage in certain ways. The way is that if you don't have, for example, direction, clarity in your life, basically you need to understand it's like you don't know where you are going. It's like you are going somewhere, you are in a journey, life is a journey, and you do not know actually specifically where you are going. It's like you are a ship in the ocean with no direction. It's just going around somewhere. Okay, where is the problem, you may say? I like being, like some people say like this, go with the flow. So what's the problem to go with the flow? The problem with this is that it is very difficult to decide something when you don't have clarity of direction and purpose. When you don't know where you are going, it is very difficult for you to focus on something, because where to focus? Or you will be focusing accidentally in one or another thing that, for example, some things will happen to you and they will demand your focus. Let's say you have a flat tire, of course, you will have to fix it if you're stuck in the middle of the road. So this will demand you to focus on it. But other times you will not have these things from outside and you will be losing energy, a lot of energy and time. And of course, there is a constant in this world, which is called gravity. If you lose time and energy, this power of gravity, there is like a kind of power in this world, which is physically the gravity, but there's also psychologically the gravity, will start taking from you things and will start, for example, if you would sit without doing anything, I'm not talking about meditation, you would start being more heavy psychologically, more bored and more tired. But if you would be active, having a direction, a goal, and a purpose that inspire you, of course, then you would start growing, even energetically, even physically, even psychologically. You would have a reason to wake up in the morning, and plus, you would be able to decide. Okay, you would be able to decide because you have a goal. So if you are this ship in the ocean with a goal, then it is easy to decide how to turn, when to stop. You can calculate what you will need. You can put your life, like you can start putting your life in an organized trajectory. Yes, and this will start giving you motivation because now you have a purpose, you know what to do, and this kind of clarity will stop you from sabotaging yourself because the contrast will be obvious. For example, if I'm this ship in the ocean and I know that in 3 days I have to arrive somewhere, or generally I have to arrive somewhere, but then I can calculate the weather, and if I see that in my direction the weather will be bad, then I can decide to go faster for 1 day and then stop in another island, let's say in the middle of the ocean, put fuel and so on. So you can make a program. And if you will do something against this, you will know that you are risking your life, your everything. But if you are simply in the middle of the ocean going nowhere, you don't have clarity of where you are going, you don't know what to decide. And if something will appear in front of you, for example, a storm, suddenly you arrive in the middle of storms, then you will see, oh, if I knew this and I had calculated that we'll arrive here, maybe I could have made some plans and maybe I would save myself from the problems and the troubles. But I didn't know that I will arrive there. And many times you didn't know, not because simply you cannot predict the future, because you don't direct yourself somewhere. Okay. So some people will ask how to have clarity. There are reasons why we don't have clarity. One of the reasons that we don't have clarity is that we never think about it. Okay. Or we are overwhelmed by many, many different thoughts that we have, and we cannot clarify what we want. So one thing one can do to help him practically is to start putting his thoughts with this purpose to find more clarity and direction in his life, to start putting his thoughts in a paper. like a practice. You can do every day a practice, for example, to sit down. If you have this feeling that you lack direction and clear vision, clarity about where you are going in life, to start putting different thoughts in the paper. This is magical because if you put your thoughts on a paper, and you will excuse my English because I'm not an English native speaker. So if you put your thoughts on a paper, after it is very easily by looking them after a while, maybe after one day, it is very easy for you because you will have a distance from these things that you wrote to understand that some of these things that you write are like not real for you. What have I written here? Oh my God. Yes, I was thinking this, how it's possible. Now that I see it written in the paper from a distance, like later, one day after, I realize that, no, this is not what I want. But when it happens in the moment that we have thoughts, like the flow of thoughts, in this moment we have usually, we are overwhelmed from the amount of thoughts and different thoughts, especially when we have clarity. And this overwhelm makes us want to forget really our inner dialogue. So the next day, simply you will forget what you were thinking the previous day, or you will have the same repetition of this chaotic uh, accumulation of thoughts again. So when you are in the middle of this chaotic accumulation of thoughts, it's very difficult to see them from a distance. But if you write them every day on a paper, and you see them, like especially if you do this every day, after a while you will be able to understand that, okay, I'm having these ideas again and again and again, but I really now see that these ideas are just my mind repeating different frustrations and stuff that accumulated from the past, for example. Okay, so this would help you tremendously. Another thing that would help you to obtain more clarity is to organize your tasks and what you are doing in specific modules. Like somebody would organize, I don't know, any task. Many times the lack of clarity comes because we are looking at our tasks and what we have to do in our life generally. Like we are trying to look like looking from up above everything. And we're trying to control everything in our mind. For example, I have this project, I want to change my physical body. And so we're thinking generally about these things. I need to change my physical body. I need to change my financial situation. I need to take some time for myself. If you think about all these things generally, you will be usually overwhelmed. Oh my God, I have to do so many things in my life. Oof, how I will manage all this? Okay, this promotes this overwhelm, which is not going to help you, and this leads to self-sabotage. Because when you're overwhelmed, you are going to avoid anything related to this overwhelmed feeling. And what is related? All your tasks. Okay, so this may ring a bell to you that many times when you are thinking about what you have to do generally in your life, what you have to change, who you want to become, when you're thinking about your dreams, you may be overwhelmed because they are too big or too much. And one of the reasons is that they are not very well organized. So you need to start organizing your tasks in smaller tasks that can be done, for example, in the next week. Let's say if somebody is overweight and would like to change this, if you think that you have to lose, for example, 50 kilos or 200 pounds or whatever, I'm not sure how to calculate in pounds. Yes, you may be thinking that you have a mountain to climb. But if you would think that you have to lose 1 kilogram in the next week, and then 1 kilogram in the next week, and your goal is to lose 1 kilogram in 1 week, this is manageable. You can make attempt. And when you will achieve this result and this goal, you will be feeling that you achieved something. Okay, so organizing your life more, putting smaller tasks will help you to stop sabotaging yourself because you are overwhelmed. And another reason that we sabotage ourselves is because um, we are having too many of the tasks from different directions simultaneously. For example, we may be doing something here and something there and something in the other side of our life, thinking that we are doing a lot of things promoting our life, but actually it's like a chaotic way of dealing with ourselves and with our life. Again, here this leads to self-sabotage because in the end of the day, you cannot control what you have to do. Like you cannot control the outcome like this. If you are doing here and there different arbitrary small tasks, thinking that generally you are going towards your purpose. When we are overwhelmed, we are going to sabotage ourselves also because many times when we don't have clarity or we are not organized, we don't know what to choose. We have a lot of choice. For example, a person who is not organized and she doesn't have clarity may wake up in the morning and cannot choose what to work on today. Or if you need to decide about something in your life, a project, and you have not clarity, you don't have clarity, or you are not organized enough in your life, then it's possible that you cannot choose what you will pursue. Okay, for example, many people don't know what kind of job to pursue. There are people who ask me, should I take this job or this job or the third job? When you don't know which job to choose, chances are that you are going to sabotage yourself. You are going to be stressed because you have lack of clarity. You're going to go to this interview without being determined because you are not sure what you want exactly. And this leads to self-sabotage. And why somebody cannot choose? Because he does not know where he's going. Okay, people say, okay, I need a job. This is not a direction exactly. This is more like a reaction. Sure, you need a job to survive. Okay, so not having clarity like this can lead to self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is when you cannot decide, when you are overwhelmed with many choices, so you try to avoid. And generally, when you will avoid all these things you have to do, for example, to organize yourself because you don't know where you are going. And second, you are overwhelmed because you are not organized. Well, if you are like this, it is good to take some time to think about yourself and to put some things in perspective. For example, many people use the fact that they are overwhelmed as an excuse to never start dealing with this. They say, because I don't have clarity of direction and because I don't have clear purpose, I don't know where I'm going, let me like procrastinate a bit more. Let me spend one more week. And when the clarity will come, I'm ready to act. And of course, like this, clarity never comes. Okay, this topic, I just mentioned it because it's very big. But I gave you some practical tools. One is to start putting all your thoughts down on a paper and organize some of your tasks into smaller steps. This will help you to gain more clarity because there are many reasons, as you saw, as you heard, of not having clarity, which leads to self-sabotaging ourselves. And the other thing that I told you is that you need to take some time to think about this before, because many people, like, they could hear me talking like this and they say they are overwhelmed just to hear all this. Okay, sure, to digest even the idea that you need to change and to organize your life better, you need some time in order to take this first decision, to have clarity about this, that I don't have clarity. Because if you are not aware that the problem is lack of clarity, and you use the lack of clarity as an excuse to actually self-sabotage yourself and avoid bringing clarity because it overwhelms you, then you are in this vicious cycle. Okay, so take some time, realize that chances are lack of clarity is a big part of self-sabotage. There are many other reasons. Many of these reasons are interrelated, but if you see all of this, how they are related, you will understand almost everything about your life. And you need to do this work not only for business, but also for your health, for your relationships, and for your spirituality or your personal development. These are the four pillars of our everyday life. It's our physical body and our health, our work, projects, business, what we do in the world, our relationships, and how we see ourselves, our psychology, how we see life and ourselves, which is the essence of spirituality in this world as human beings. Okay, there are more deeper aspects of spirituality, but we're not talking about this now. So these are the four pillars, and if in one of them you self-sabotage, then you need to use this question: do I have this problem of lack of clarity and direction? And apply these tips that I gave you. There are more tips. I would need to speak here 2-3 hours to analyze everything, and I would need to show you some charts and some things to have to remember. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to do these live streams every Wednesday and Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern European time, Greek or Romanian time. And they will be simultaneously, I hope it will work, in all different platforms. So wherever you are connected with me, in LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, in Facebook pages, or in Facebook groups, or in my personal page, I hope it will work. I will see now if it worked. Give me, please, your feedback. If you are in a platform that has the thumbs up, please put the thumbs up to support this effort, to give you more knowledge. Like the channel, our YouTube channel, you can go and watch this live stream everywhere. I thank you very much for being here, and I will organize this live stream better and better, and I will be back with the next one on Saturday. If you want to master self-sabotage and all these reasons and to become really like a coach for this, I will also give you a certificate for this study from our organization. I wait for you in this extraordinary spiritual adventure in Tibet this November. It is not for everyone, I know, but have it in mind if you really want to make a big step in your life and you are ready to change. I'm waiting to help you and guide you towards this direction. This is what I did in my life. I'm helping people to do the same. That's it. See you soon. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.